Good afternoon. They appear to be the forgotten ones, victims of last month's flooding who don't live in a big city or a community like High River where hundreds of homes have been damaged. These flood victims live downstream from the Old Man River Dam, and while family and friends have been helping with cleanup, they feel the government has let them down. Terry Vogt reports.
David and Don Little have spent the past month working to get their home and yard in livable condition. It was June 20th when the Old Man River flowed over its banks, came rushing up their sewer drains, and left a layer of mud and silt on the ground floor of their house. Since then, their days have been filled with hauling, cleaning, and trips to the dump.
Every day, yeah. Cleaning, getting rid of all the stench and all the stuff. But this morning I saw a lot of mildew that's starting to come, so that bothers me a lot.
Don and David are not complainers. In the days after the flood, they joked their front lawn looked more like a garage sale. But now their insurance company has denied coverage. Don admits as time goes on, it's been getting harder and harder to deal with.
It's the loss of the animals, the loss of just being a family and doing daily stuff. And I didn't expect my summer to be like this. So I'm going to cry, so take it away.
The Littles say they're thankful for friends and family who they say have been working like troopers. Their son-in-law has come from the United States, taking time off work to help.
It's a lot worse than I imagined. Even with my wife being here and describing it, it's still, you have to see it to believe it.
The government might try to buy us out. What my worry is they'll try to do it on the assessed tax, which for most people in farming communities is about a quarter of what their property is actually worth.
Those who live downstream from the Old Man River Dam say a month after the flood, there are still lots of questions and very few answers. And even worse, they say, they seem to have been left to fend for themselves. Terry Vogt, CTV News, near Fort Macleod.
The province will be holding a flood information session in Lethbridge tomorrow. Under the government's new flood rebuilding policy, people living in floodways will have the choice of either relocating or rebuilding using funding from the Disaster Recovery Program. Residents who rebuild inside the floodways will not be covered in the event of future floods, and those in fringe areas will only get compensation if they rebuild with specific flood-proofing measures. The information session is scheduled from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. tomorrow night at the Coast Hotel. Coming up on the news at 5:30, we're getting our first look today at a new temporary neighborhood in High River. Those who lost their homes to the flood will be living there until they can rebuild. Mother Nature put on quite a performance again last night. If you didn't see the lightning tear up the skies, chances are you heard the crack of the thunder. Our cameraman Brendan Miller shot this with his iPhone of the storm in the Lethbridge area. And the storm swept right across southern Alberta last night. Cody took this spectacular photo just west of Sterling around 1:30 this morning. And Kevin sent us this one as the storm was approaching the community of Colehurst. We could be in for another thunder boomer tonight. Dory Rossiter, things looking a little more stable, but that's not going to start until tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're looking a little more stable. Tonight, not so much. We're already seeing an absolute duplicate of what we saw yesterday as far as the developmental form of these storms. They're developing on the mountains and then pushing eastward. And there's some very interesting satellite and radar pictures that are showing up, and we'll have the details for you coming up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you, Dory.